Hello folks, I'm Michael with BC Hobbies, and this is the Rapido Trains HO Scale Canadian Pacific D-10. The Canadian Pacific Railway operated many classes of steam locomotives over the years, but none was more ubiquitous than the venerable D-10. Built from 1905 to 1913, these rugged little 10-wheelers were widely used all across Canada, and many remained in service right up until the end of steam in the 1950s. The D-10s were tough, simple, reliable engines, and useful for both freight and passenger service. For over 40 years, they were the backbone of the Canadian Pacific Fleet, and in total over 500 were built, more than any other class of Canadian steam locomotives. Rapido Trains has made a name for themselves with highly detailed, meticulously researched models of Canadian prototypes. It's been over 3 years since they announced the D10 model, but after several production delays, it's finally here, and for the most part, it's every bit as impressive as their previous efforts. The detail is superb, with plenty of separately applied parts that are specific to each road number. This one is number 962, which was a somewhat unique example in real life, being the only D10 painted in Canadian Pacific's maroon passenger livery, with all the others being plain black. In addition to the paint scheme, this model has a center-mounted headlight and an oil tender to match the prototype, among other details. Other versions of the model have a top-mounted headlight and coal tender as needed for their specific prototype. The paint job is excellent, with razor-sharp lettering and a semi-gloss finish that I think looks much better than the dull matte finishes on most ready-to-run models. This is a Rapido model, of course, so it's not exactly cheap. With DCC Sound, it sells for $600 Canadian, while the DC Silent version is only slightly cheaper at $500. For your money, though, you do get impeccable prototype-specific detail, and of course, it's a very high-quality model to boot. As a little bonus, the instruction manual is full of Rapido's signature irreverent humor, which makes it fun to read as well as informative. The mechanism has gears powering all 6 driving wheels, and one set has traction tires. This is basically the same setup as Rapido's Royal Hudson model that we reviewed a few years back. The sound controls are also similar to the Royal Hudson, although I remember the Royal Hudson having better bass response, probably because it had room inside for a bigger speaker. With the sound turned off, the mechanism runs smoothly and quietly, although at low speed there's an audible hum from the DCC decoder and some squeaking from the tender axles. The only thing that bugs me about the sound is that the brake squeal plays every time you stop regardless of speed, and it's the exact same recording every time, which gets a little old. On the other hand, I really like the whistle. It starts every time with a pre-recorded flourish, but then extends the final note for as long as you hold down the button. Every now and then, it'll add another little flourish to the end, although I couldn't figure out a way to make it reliably do this on command. The lighting features are also very cool, and you can cycle the marker lights between white and green using function 6, although they are a bit dim. One feature I've never seen on a model before is these lights under the cab. Their purpose in real life was to illuminate the driving wheels so that the crew could see how fast they were going at night, since most steam locomotives didn't have speedometers. Only a few railroads use these, and it's attention to detail like this that helps Rapido models stand out. Unfortunately, things that stand out about Rapido models aren't always universally positive. When I took this one out of the box, one of the domes and the bell fell off. I think they'd been loose inside the box for a while. And while it wasn't that hard to reattach them, it didn't give me the most confidence in the build quality. Happily, since then, it's performed perfectly fine and I've had no other issues with it. Well, that wraps up this review of the Rapido Trains HO Scale Canadian Pacific D-10. If you want one, now's the time to get it, as like Rapido's other locomotives, this is a limited production model, and once it's sold out, it's not coming back. We still have several road numbers in stock at BC Hobbies, and if you want one, you can get it at our store at Hillside Mall in Victoria, British Columbia, or shop online at bchobbies.com. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. I'm Michael, and I will see you next time.